A very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, I am delighted to welcome you all to the valedictory ceremony of the Faculty Development Program organized by Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore under the aegis of Association of Indian Universities Academic and Administrative Development Center at SWI. In last 10 days, we have had deep insights into dynamics of delivery techniques in higher education that are changing from conventional face-to-face to online to mixed modalities. We have been listening to eminent speakers deliberated in the areas of technological innovations in educational practice. All these valuable insights gave us a new perspective that one should adopt in their teaching and practice. Today is the valedictory session of the FDP, and we are delighted to have with us as Chief Guest Dr. Avinash C. Pandey, Honorable Director, Inter-University Accelerator Center, New Delhi, and special guest Dr. Amrendra Pani, Joint Director and Head Research, Association of Indian Universities. To begin the ceremony by welcoming of the guest, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of University, Dr. Upinder Dhar, to welcome our Chief Guest, Dr. Avinash C. Pandey. Thank you, sir. I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar to virtually welcome our special guest, Dr. Amrendra Pandey. Thank you, sir, for joining and being with us. Collective work is the secret behind the progress that this AIU FDP has seen. To present a report of the FDP, I would like to welcome Ms. Sukriti Agrawal, coordinator of this faculty development program.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good afternoon to one and all present over here. A very good afternoon to one and all present over here. I, Sukriti Agrawal, presenting a report on FDP based on the theme Improving Teaching Learning Process Through Technical Interventions. Association of Indian Universities, AIU, is an apex university of universities and other higher education institution in country. AIU has established AIU academic and administrative centers in 10 different universities. The objective of establishing these centers is to organize short-term professional development programs for the faculty members and the training programs for the administrative functionaries of the member universities, especially on use of technology and adopted blending learning methods of teaching. I'd like to share that Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya is one of the administrative development centers. With the immense pleasure, we inform that Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, under the aegis of AIU AADC, has organized the first FD on the theme Improving Teaching Learning Process Through Technical Interventions from 9 January 2022 to 20 January. The inaugural session begins. The welcome of our chief guest, Dr. D.V. Phatak, recipient of Padma Shri, Professor Emerita, Department of CAC, IIT Bombay, and the virtual welcome of the guest, Dr. Suranjan Das, President, AIU, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Jadavpur University. Dr. Ran Rajawat, Dean Academic, SVV, and Nodal Officer, AIU SVV AADC, introduced about first FDP organized under the aegis of AIU, SEEE AADC, and objective of AIU AADC. Sir said technology enhanced learning is very important to improve the education by saving time. ICT act as a primary catalyst of change in all domains of society and enhance both conventional and e-learning settings. The FDP is highly emotional, educational, memorable, and not to be missed event. SAR introduced keynote speaker and 18 renowned speakers from various institutions across the globe that delivered the sessions. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Rupinder Dhar welcomed the chief guest and august the gathering in his welcome address. He said, continuous faculty development program necessitates for the development of students calibers and to justice teaching learning technology with emerging technology. He shared his view on transformation of teaching technology from chalk and duster to online teaching and importance of student-centric session. The guest on the occasion was Dr. Surendan Das. He expressed his sincere thanks to SEEE for establishing AIU SEEE AADC. There is a paradigm shift in education system in India as well. Hence, increasing the education technology should be tuned effectively with the appropriate pedagogy to enhance the teaching learning process and also emphasize in the policy of NEP 2020. Sir also mentioned 4 established forms of pedagogy: constructivism, social contradism, behavioral, and liberation. Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, had IT department, read the citation of the chief guest. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Rupinder Dhar presented citation to the chief guest. The chief guest on the occasion was Dr. D.B. Pathak. His keynote address was based on the storytelling pedagogy. He explained importance of qualitative lecture delivery. The key points of the address was, there is no substitute for hard work. Face-to-face learning, motivate the student in the classroom. Instead of punishing in public, let them ask in a council. The entire keynote address was honoring, motivating, and encouraging. It was a golden opportunity for everyone to listen to him. The inaugural session concluded with the words of thanks by Mr. Priman Sharma, Assistant Registrar, Academic Section, SEEE. Day 1, Faculty Development Program, Session 2, was delivered by Dr. Rupinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SEEE Indore, on the topic, Innovative Pedagogy for Improving Teaching Learning Process. Sir said, innovative teaching methods will make teaching more enjoyable and to have an uneven classroom to make the difference between hearing and listening. He provided his insight on the different methods of innovative teaching, like interactive lessons using virtual reality technology. Few are the names. On Faculty Development Program, Day 2, Session 1, was delivered by Mr. Tuhin Kundu, Head Governance Analytics, TCS. Sir said, nothing can replace human touch and the physical environment. Day 2, Session 2, was delivered by Dr. Rajiv Shukla, Professor, School of Management Studies, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, on the topic blended learning and media strategy. Sir said, blended learning created an opportunity to rethink, plan, redesign, and deliver the higher quality of content. Faculty Development Program, Day 3, Session 1, was delivered by Dr. Maya Ingle, Professor, School of Computer Science and IT, DAVP Indore. The topic was strengthening teaching learning by upscaling workforce. Madam said, Institute should incorporate MOOC courses to enhance the quality of teaching. Faculty Development Program, Day 3, Session 2, was delivered by Dr. Vinit Sahula, Professor, MNIT Jaipur, on the topic Design of Assessment on LMS, Canvas, and Moodle. Sir has provided a hands-on session on LMS, Canvas, and Moodle. Day 4, Session 1, was delivered by Dr. Santosh Dhar, Dean, FDSR, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, on the topic Challenges for Improving Teaching Learning Process in Higher Education Institution. Madam said, institution need to focus on 3 shifts: operational efficiency, agility, workforce development. Day 4, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. Rishi Dubey, Professor and Principal, Indore Institute of Management and Research, Indore. The session was based on the Johari window. Day 5, Session 1 was delivered by Dr. Prasoon Kumar, Scientific Officer, DBT, IOC, Bioenergy Research Center, Faridabad. Sir said, think like an editor and deliver on the topic common techniques and software used to communicate academic works. Day 5, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. Ramesh Kothari, Professor, Suraj University, on the topic integration of ICT in pedagogy. Sir said physical, ethical, moral, and emotional development is not possible through a virtual laboratory system. Faculty Development Program Day 6, Session 1 was delivered by Mr. Manoj Kumar Tripathi, Professor, ICAR, Central Institute of Agriculture Engineering, Bhopal, on the topic A Guided Approach to Successful Research Grant Proposal Writing. Sir said India needs to focus on R&D as there is a huge finding is available. Key is efforts to capture those opportunities. Faculty Development Program Day 6, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. Meenakshi Mehan, former head, Department of Food and Nutrition, the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University, Baroda. On the topic Technology to Improve Educational Outcomes, Madam said institutions create new career ladders for faculty and instructors who master technology in teaching. Faculty Development Program Day 7, Session 1 was delivered by Dr. Rakesh L. Srivastava, Professor, the Institute of Engineers and Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering, on the topic Technological Interventions and Blended Learning in the Digitized World, an opportunity to excel. Sir said, shifting of teaching methods from traditional face-to-face, online, and blended learning. Now, e-learning is no longer just a trendy, but it is a necessity. Faculty Development Program Day 7, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. Vijay Singh Rathore, Professor, CAC, Director Outreach, Jaipur Engineering College and Research Center, Jaipur. Sir suggested that taking a right decision at the right times leads to success. Faculty Development Program Day 8, Session 1 was delivered by Dr. Archana Raka, Professor, School of Law, DAVB Indore, on the topic Academic Integrity and Plagiarism, UGC Regulation 2018. She suggested footnotes should be verified properly to test the integrity. There should be policy adopted by institutions to spread the awareness among the faculty members and the research scholars. Faculty Development Program Day 8, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. Mona Purohit, Dean, Baratullah University, Bhopal, on the topic Contemporary Teaching Methods and Challenges. Madam provided her insight on present education and future as per NEP 2020. Faculty Development Program Day 9, Session 1 was delivered by Dr. M. Pan, Professor, former Pro, VC, UNU Bhopal, on the topic Artificial Intelligence and Education. Sir suggested don't wait someone to teach you, just be a learner by your own. Faculty Development Program Day 9, Session 2 was delivered by Dr. K. N. Guruprasad, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Science, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, on the topic Technological Tool for Teaching Science. Sir said emerging technology somehow pushed the new gradient back, and they are now able to think without technology. Faculty Development Program Day 10, Session 1 was delivered by Dr. D.K. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SRM University, Lucknow, on the topic Effective Teaching Learning, a Management Approach. Sir suggested a student also need to improve himself like a teacher to get the attention of teacher more towards him. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice presentation. Now, may I take the pleasure of requesting Vice Chancellor of University, Dr. Upinder Dhar, to deliver the welcome address.
chief guest on this occasion, Dr. Avinash Pandey, Director, IUAC, New Delhi, all faculty colleagues, directors of various institutes, and my dear friends. At the outset, I would like to welcome Dr. Pandey to this program, which happens to be the first faculty development program of the development center, which has been recently established. We are thankful to AIU for selecting Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya as one of the 10 centers across country for establishing this center. As all of us know, already all of you have discussed in detail in previous 10 days that there are certain components when we talk about teaching learning process or improving teaching learning process. Unless those components or those elements, or if I would say stakeholders, if we use management language, stakeholders, unless they are taken care of, overall improvement is not possible. So on one hand, students are the stakeholders. Then teachers are the stakeholders. So one is the teacher, another is the student, and the third very important element is the content. Content that has been chosen for teaching to the other person. Content decides, based on content, a teacher decides what methodology what should be the pedagogy. Unless each component is paid attention, overall improvement in the quality is not possible. We have already discussed in detail, as we could see from the brief about each session, various dimensions have been taken care of. So on one hand, we are seeing more application of technology in teaching learning process. And at the same time, when we say application of IT in teaching learning process, we are not only referring to the technical disciplines. As we saw that resource persons were from varied disciplines. On one hand, from hardcore engineering, on other hand, from home science. A very broad spectrum of resource persons has been deliberately chosen for this program. Now, as you have discussed in detail, using technology, but using it appropriately. Not using any technology for the using sake, but for making an improvement in the process. Our national education policy stresses on the learning, and that too outcome-based learning. So learning has to be the outcome of the whole process, in which that process, technology is playing a role, and over the period of time, as we continue implementing NEP 2020, the role of technology is going to increase and not restricting it to certain areas. It will be across disciplines. And that speaks about that reflects the importance of such programs. As I said, faculty is one of the very important stakeholders in education system. Think of any institution, any country. Faculty is the very important stakeholder, and therefore development of the faculty needs to be taken. And one thing that NEP 2020 is emphasizing is that faculty development programs should not be and cannot be once in a while activity. It's not that, well, when you are having time, you have interest, so you can be nominated to a faculty development program happening somewhere. Now it has to be the compulsory component. We have to accept as teachers that our own continuous development is necessary, because what we learn, that gets trickled down. It trickles down. So today there are many challenges. Another component is the student. Today's student is different from what it used to be, say, 30 years back. You see, in this journey of, say, I have been in this profession for more than 4 decades now. 4 decades, the kind of student that we used to have 4 decades back was different from the student which we are having today. The sources of knowledge were very limited those days. So students will come to the class to learn from the teacher. So in a way, teacher was considered the final authority. What teacher says, that is final. But today it is not so. Today, many times it happens, student comments that even my teacher knows about it. That means student thinks that I'm knowledgeable, because sources of knowledge are multiple. Many students come well prepared. They know many things, and they are challenged at times. Faculty it becomes a challenge if faculty is not well prepared. So this is the indication that we need to be continuously updating ourselves. We need to be well versed with the latest in our discipline, so that we can make some add-on. What student is already knowing, we should be able to make the add-on. We should be able to we should be able to clarify. So it is more in terms of clarification. Earlier, student would come totally depend on teacher, so we have to learn what teacher says. That is the final. That is final. That is what it means. But today it's not. He already knows. He has already tapped various sources. So if he is sincerely there, he is there for clarification of certain points. And we as teachers can clarify only if we are well versed with the subject, if we are updated. That is how the importance of faculty development programs has increased. And with this view in mind, AIU, Association of Indian Universities, thought of having certain centers across. See, HRD centers of universities, which were earlier called academic staff colleges, are doing their job for a long time, like for many decades. These centers are not established with any intention to have any kind of clash, but focus is more in terms of continuous development and also taking technology along. Because in teaching learning process, latest tools need to be used. And when we say latest tools, latest teaching aids, most of it comes from the technology. That we need to have the irrespective of discipline, whether one is in fine arts, home science, or technical discipline. One is expected to have basic understanding of the basic technology based on which these teaching aids are made. We have seen the days when there used to be only blackboard. Then we have seen the days when there used to be from blackboard, we shifted to green board. Then we have seen the days when we shifted to overhead projector, OHP. And in my discipline, management, it has always been happening. We used to adopt these things early. And from OHP, then we moved into LCD projectors. Not only that, see, when I was director of Nirma Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, 15 years back, even those days, we used to have the internet facility within the class. If we had to connect to Bombay Stock Exchange, we would do it and demonstrate see what is happening in Bombay Stock in the class itself. So this interface has been changing and it will continue to change. More aids, more teaching aids are going to be introduced over the period of time. So therefore, we have to make it a habit to learn, keep on learning, learn continuously. This continuous learning is going to stay. So with these words, since we are all eager to listen to Dr. Pandey, and we are here to listen to him, he's a technocrat and he's part of many important policy-making bodies. He has been contributing very significantly and is known for his contribution. So that's why we have requested him specially to be with us today to give a final touch to this program. But this is only first program. Learning has to continue. Many more programs will follow. And this center will also be covering non-teaching and technical staff, not only teachers, because they are part of the whole system. So with these words, I welcome Dr. Pandey once again, and I also welcome Dr. Amarendra Pani, who is in a way host only, because this is the AIU program that we are having. But at the same time, I would like to thank him for joining us from Delhi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your profound knowledge with us. Your thoughts always encourage us to keep on learning new things. Now, for the part appreciation and recognition to all the participants of the FDP, I request chief guest along with other dignitaries to award the certificates to all the participants. All the participants are requested to come one by one. First is Ms. Rupali Bhatia. Mr. Kamal Borana. And next is Mr. Rahul Chaudhary. Mr. Nikhil Chaturvedi. Mr. Shrikant Telang. Mr. Vijayant Pandey. Mr. Naresh Purohit. Mr. Santosh Patidar. Mr. Pavan Kumar Gupta. Dr. Rashmi Sharma. Dr. Raksha Chauhan. Dr. Reena Gupta. Mr. Nirvan Ingole. Mr. Satish Kumar Patel. Dr. Valsha Upadhyay. Dr. Shubhi Vyas. Dr. Ankur Bharadwaj. Dr. Swati Chaurasia. Dr. Alti Sharma. Dr. Supriya Vyas. Dr. Surendra Prakash Gupta. Miss Rachna Jain. And Dr. Somesh Bhatt. Thanks to all the dignitaries and congratulations to all the participants. Our special guest of the program, Dr. Amrendra Pani, is with us. Dr. Amrendra Pani is a higher education policy research expert with more than 25 years of experience. A research methodologist, Dr. Pani gave his valuable services in some of the apex level research and capacity building organizations like NCERT, Association of Indian and some of the premier and reputed universities like Punjab University, Chandigarh, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna Gadwal Central University, Uttarakhand, and in various academic as well as administrative positions. Over his 2 decades stint with AIU, Dr. Pani has served AIU in various important positions. Currently, Dr. Pani is the Joint Director and Head Research Association of Indian Universities. I request our special guest, Dr. Amren Pani, to kindly address us.
Thanks, Madam Host. Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit, Professor Upinder Dhar Sir, Dr. Avinash Pandey, the Member Secretary, Director, Inter-University Accelerator Center, IUSC, New Delhi, Dr. Anand Rajawat, and the respected teachers, delegates, or participants, those who participated in this program. At the outset, I convey my gratitude on behalf of Association of Indian University and to especially Vaishnav Vidyapit and Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Upinder Dhar, who is really a very senior academic luminary in the country, academic leader of the country with a fine sense of administrative acumen, and the present member of the AIU Governing Council. And first of all, I convey my gratitude to Upinder Dhar Sir and Vaishnav Vidyapit for accepting this center, which is really, in a real sense, is an experiment we are doing. Rather, let me term it, it was a pilot experiment because we are going in future, we are going to hold a series of programs and we are going to do so much of things in these centers. As the sir has very aptly indicated that it was not only meant for the academic faculties and the teachers, and I think the issues are also there with the administrative functionaries. They also need to be sensitized about maximizing the use of technology in higher education system. So before I get the feedback and experience of our respected teachers, those who have undergone this training program, I have a few observations, and my observations are not in isolation. they have conformity to the points already put forward by Professor Upinder Dhar sir. I'm just joining my hand and I'm just trying to add some of the points given by him. It was a very inspiring talk indeed. He picked up some of the most important points that needs to be elaborated and that deserve our attention. The first point is that the higher education sector in India over over a few decades has undergone a massive transformation, and there has been a massive paradigm shift in the process of teaching, learning, research, delivery, pedagogy, and the examination, administrative system, management of university administration. All these aspects of the universities and higher education has undergone a massive change and is also rapidly changing, evolving and rapidly changing. In this process, a paradigm shift has been witnessed, and we have some ceremonious departure, some unprecedented departure from the age old traditional methodology, delivery system, pedagogy, examination, and everything. If we look at the paradigm shift we have undergone, let me just outline a few points before you. We have shifted from a teacher centric education system to student centric education system, and the present new education policy in 2020. It is being described now as a student centric, innovative, and forward looking policy. And we are expecting so much of the things from the policy, provided, as you know, that we as the Indian system and the Indian stakeholders of higher education, even policymakers, we are very good at policies, but we feel little problematic and difficult in implementation of the things. So we are expecting this new education policy to bring a massive revolution in the concept, delivery, and every aspect of the higher education system of the country. So the first shift we have witnessed, that is from a teacher-centric education process, education system, to student-focused, student-centric education system. Then the second one is from physical, the bricks and mortar physical structure, classroom system, to a virtual and online classroom system, smart classroom. Now we are using flip classroom. There are so many concepts that have come and they are also evolving. Third one is we have a departure from the traditional chalk and talk methods to the maximum use of the high end technology, because today we are in the era of industry 4.0, and the internet of things, artificial intelligence, big data analysis, and so many new developments in the technology parlance especially has happened, that we want to integrate to the higher education system, and we are doing it. So this is one of the paradigm indication of the paradigm shift. Then new concept. Once we were in a rigid system, there is a particular time or a date published, printed in the prospectus of the institutions, and we, so far as the admission, filling up the forms, then examination, all things are pre-scheduled, and we used to comply with that system already given by the university. But today, the concept of walk-in admission, while walking, passing through an institution, you found an institution and you thought that this degree of this institution is good, this program, so I can undergo. You can approach them, and we call it a walk-in admission. Then on-demand examination. During our time, even during old times, the examination used to be held during the schedule already mentioned in the prospectus. But today, the students, we are giving the opportunity, the degree of flexibility to the students to go and approach the institution on his own demand, that I'm ready and you take my examination. This is one of the feature. Then we have as I said, you rigid to a flexible structure from a knowledge-based curriculum. If you look back, the traditional spirit and ethos of our education system, Dharsar was giving a very beautiful reference. The teacher was the institution in himself. Admission, examination, teaching, program, method of teaching, everything was being decided by the guru, teacher, during our Gurukul system. So the guru or the teacher was the institution in himself. And today, the concept is changing. Education First of all, here another concept I would like to discuss. Sir was also giving reference to that. First, education was a bipolar process. It was a business, not business in the commerce sense. It was the matter or business between the teacher and the taught, teacher and the students. So we as education faculties, education people, we call that education was a bipolar process. After some time, education, the concept graduated as education is a tripolar process. This business, it was believed that this business of education, the matter of education, transaction of education cannot be simply confined to the teacher or the student, because another dimension is important, that is course curriculum, program content, right? So during that time we call education as the tripolar process. Now this is my version. What I think is education, let us call it, attribute it as a quadrupolar process or a multipolar process. How? Because technology integration is also there. So that is the fourth dimension that has been added to the system of education. Now education very aptly and conveniently can be called as a quadrupolar process or a multipolar process. So having said so, the concept of this academic administrative development centers have emerged because of this new paradigm, what I discussed before you. With all these changes, if we refer to the definition or the saying of Einstein, who says that the new problems cannot be solved with the old tools and techniques. So one of the glaring example, how the saying is fitting very aptly to today's context. During the pandemic, till the pandemic, the situation was normal. The pandemic came and we called it as a new normal time. What happened? The educational institute, the entire country was locked down. The institutions also were pressurized to remain under shutdown process, and there was heavy academic loss of the students. So therefore, this technology-based learning, online classes, virtual teaching, all these concepts emerged, and slowly or gradually, whether limpingly or you can say or slowly, we adopted the process, and largely we could address the issue of minimizing the academic loss of the students, and that helped our faculty members, and many of our routine functions we carried out through the technology, help of technology. So then this factor became important, that without technology today we cannot think of any progress, any development or anything. So therefore we are left with no option but to adopt the technology, to sensitize ourselves and to sensitize our teachers, faculty members, administrative functionaries to deal with the situation with the help of technology. So therefore, what happened? If Sir Dharsa was giving another reference, that was academic staff colleges, which have been rechristened or renamed as the HRDC centers. UGC, Human Resource Development Centers. They're operating in different universities. Probably 67 universities have the academic staff colleges and the academic human resource development centers. But what they have been doing, primarily they have been organizing orientation programs for newly inducted teachers. And they're also organizing the refresher programs for already the teachers who are already in the profession. One point I'm enticed to share one point with you. Continuous learning, professional development largely revolve around one of the very salient and strong feature of a profession, to the club which teaching belongs to. That is, the profession needs to be constantly evolved through research and development activities. Number one criteria of a profession, that is supported, it is backed by a strong repository of knowledge, right? It is driven by a strong repository of knowledge, and that repository of knowledge needs to be continuously evolved through research and development activities, right? So having said so, our teachers, those who teach in the classroom, they need to update themselves. They need to, first of all, acquire the skills to deal with the technology, use technology in teaching learning process and system and research delivery, whatever. That was the moot point, that since academic staff colleges, they are organizing the traditional concept of traditional oriented things relating to teachers' professional development and continuing development activities, we thought, especially our honorable governing council members and our leadership authorities, we thought that the pandemic has given us a different kind of experience, and to on the basis of that experience, there is a dire need to sensitize the teachers, train our teachers to deal with the technology. Secondly, what we did during the pandemic, we conducted a study under my leadership only. Sir knows, Dharsar knows. Conducted a study in collaboration with one organization in UK that is called as Quality Assurance, Strategic Planning and Institutional Research. And the report, research study, after conducting, we found there was some startling, some surprise findings that more than 60% of the higher education faculty members of our country, they are not familiarized with the technology enabled learning, or nor do they effectively use technology in their classroom, and they were also not able to deal with the blended mode or hybrid learning system. So that was one of the outstanding finding for which we organized faculty development programs in collaboration with the Casper UK, and series of professional development activities were organized. So taking a cue to that finding also, we thought it will be in the interest of the academic faculty and in the interest of IIU also to revisit the teacher training methodology and process. And this year, let us devote in a focused manner to technology enabled teaching learning system. So therefore, all these 10 centers, they were conceptualized, and I prepared the concept note for them, the entire policy guideline. It was approved by our honorable members of the governing council. Finally, 10 centers are working, and one of the centers very effectively has started functioning as a Vaishnav Vidyapit. I congratulate to the entire team, Professor Dharsar and his Dr. Anand Rajawat, who is the nodal officer of this program. He's a very young person, but he's very dynamic, and he has been constantly in touch with me, seeking guidance to how to execute the things. And the other team members, they deserve our accolade, and especially the teachers from various parts of the country, various institutions, those who have really shown their interest and they have become a part of this program. We feel humble, and we are thankful to them. And I am sure in the last 7-8 days, the programs, the teaching, the themes of different speakers, what I could see, they were really highly impactful. And I'm sure the training inputs, whatever they have received during the 7-8 days of their program, definitely that will help them with some kind of insight to deal with the teaching learning situation in a modern and a new age institutions. As again, Sir has told that the yesterday's student was different. To whom we dealt, he was a different student, but today's student is a different. He is already coming with exorbitant information what is available in the market. The student is already coming with that. He is equipped with the information. We need to tell them how to use that information. We need to add some value to the experience of the students. This is what as the teacher we do. Let me give you a beautiful definition of a teaching, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Boring says, teaching is to learning as selling is to buying. If something somewhere is being sold, then something somewhere has been bought. If selling has not been done, then buying has not happened. Similarly, the teaching only takes place when learning takes place. Trust me, being a passionate teacher, I can very firmly say that it's the teacher who can really bring a revolution in the society, who can make the change happen, because a teacher is one of the principal change agent in a system, in a society. And teaching is really a very serious profession, and we need to take it very seriously. And as the agents of change, we have a bigger responsibility towards society. And if we do not update ourselves, then probably we will not be able to do justice to the profession we have entered into and we belong to also. So with these few words, I once again congratulate the first program has happened very successfully. So therefore, I congratulate to Vaishnav Vidyapit. I congratulate to the entire team working under the leadership of Professor Upinder Dharsar and Dr. Anand Rajawat. I also congratulate to all our teachers, those who participated, and they are going, probably they will be having some lovely and good experience and good memories too about this program. And we would like to also request your feedback so that we can improve this program in future as per the need and requirements. And once again, I convey my gratitude to all the resource persons and Dr. Pandey, especially sparing for his valuable time and to grace the valedictory occasion as the chief guest. And I also convey my thanks to each one of the persons, those who have been instrumental directly or indirectly in having witnessing this program going in a very successful manner. And we are extremely sorry. In fact, Secretary General Madam Dr. Pankaj, she was supposed to be here, but because of some other meeting in All India Institute of Medical Science, she could not be here. So I acknowledge her presence in absentia, and thank you everybody for giving me a patient hearing. मैं अपनी वाणी को यहाँ विराम देना चाहूँगा. धन्यवाद and नमस्कार.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing the valuable information and your multi-dimensional perspective with us. And it's our pleasure that our guest of honor, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, is with us and joined the ceremony. Hello, ma'am.
Thanks, madam has come in. In fact, I met madam and we discussed, but she was in hurry to leave somewhere. Probably she might be joining from the way from the car only.
Hello, ma'am. Are you able to listen? Are you able to hear? Chief guest Dr. Avinash C. Pandey is Director of Inter-University Accelerator Center, Delhi, and Director of Inter-University Center, Yoga Sciences, Bangalore. Previously, he was Director of Institute of Interdisciplinary Studies, University of Allahabad since 2016, before joining IUAC. He was Vice Chancellor of Bundelkhand University from 2012 to 2015. He has earlier been professor at University of Allahabad after obtaining master's and DPhil degree from University of Allahabad. As a principal investigator, he led to development of 3 new centers in Allahabad University. He is accredited with the development of the Nanotechnology Application Center, NAC, besides setting up of higher planes iron beam facility, a state-of-the-art iron implanter facility in the premises of University of Allahabad and Innovation Center, weather station animal research facility at Bundelkhand University. He has earlier been professor and founder head of Department of Atmospheric and Ocean Sciences and coordinator of Cape Energy Center of Atmospheric and Ocean Studies, MN Saha Center of Space Studies at University of Allahabad. He is also an adjunct professor at Michigan Technology, USA. He has many research publications, patents, and sponsored projects focused in developing novel non-material for various real-life applications from LED, PDP, biomedical, and diagnostics, and a new fluorescent carbon material besides nonlinear dynamic and surface modification using ion beams. Professor Pandey has been an associate of ICTP Trieste, Italy. He has been member of governing board and academic councils, board of many institutes such as INST Mohali, RES Nainital, Dr. H.S. Gaur University Sagar, and University of Allahabad. He is a member of many academic societies such as American Physical Society, Iron Beam Society of India, Indian Meteorological Society, Computer Society of India, IETE, Biotechnology Research Society of India, and many more. I once again welcome Dr. Avinash C. Pandey and request her to kindly address us with his words of wisdom.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Bhupinder Dharji, the guest of honor who joined online, Dr. Amarendra Pani, and unfortunately due to some communication failure, Dr. Pankaj Mittal was already there online, but we could not listen to her. Dr. Anand Rajawatji, the distinguished directors of institutes, all the learned academicians, participants of this novel faculty development program. Why I say novel? Because, there are about 66 HRDCs in the country, and they are incepted for very long period. Besides those HRDCs, we have 95 Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Teacher Training Mission, about 4 Atal academic institutions of AICT. We have under NTTT, we have 4 knitters, and they are all geared up to take the challenge of faculty development or capacity building in this area. The unfortunate part of higher education is that we are the 3rd largest higher education system in the world. And we do not have any systematic way of training the trainers. This all is sporadic. When I say sporadic, I have got statistics. We prepared a roadmap and had the privilege to work with Professor Bhupinder Dharji in many such policy statements. I'll not take the name, but definitely I'll take his permission to refer some of the things which we recommended. If you take our HEI, about 3 crores, 3.85 crore students are there in the HEI system. And 2.5 crore come from general education, about 90 lakh, they come from professional education. If I take a conservative estimate of 1:25 for general education, the teachers, total number of teachers who are in the system for general education is about 10 lakhs and 5 lakhs in professional and technical institutions. So the total number is 15 lakhs in the country. And if I divide them as per the standard funding pattern, 1:2, 2:4, that is professor, associate professor, assistant professor. So about 1.5 lakh professors are there, 4.5 lakh associate professors are there, and 9 lakhs assistant professors are there in the system. The number which I referred, 66, 99, that is very less if I talk only about the quantity. But this FDP is something different. It is not only catering to the requirement of the quantitative demand of the country, but the other side. So that referred to his experience of 3 decades or 4 decades in which the student of those early days was not having all those things on the tips of their fingers. They came to the institute, to the classroom, to learn whatever we taught. They were religiously, we found them noting down without asking the question that what you have written on the board. I remember my days when I was in the class of classical electrodynamics. It was full of tensors. My teacher who worked with Niels Bohr, he was accomplished researcher. He I'm not criticizing him. He was a learned person, but he did not utter a single word while teaching in the class. He only wrote all those symbols, and we used to take the note. We talk about teacher taught ratio. It should be 1:5. Nalanda great traditions. It should be 1:25. In many of the regulators, they have prescribed something different. But had it not been like 1:40 in which we studied, our learning would have been completely incomplete, because 1:1 means the teacher is giving you notes and you are taking it without getting any opportunity to discuss it with your students, to your classmates. So it is a many body problem. Many body problem means it is not 1:1. It is 1:40. So when I go outside the classroom, I discuss with my co-fellow that what he was referring to, and then this becomes n into n-1 into n-2, and then that kind of situation in which I learn a lot by discussing out of the classroom. That is called flipped classroom. So most of the learning used to take place outside the classroom, not in the classroom, because the time was short and the teacher had to engage ability of his spectrum, in which a topper was also sitting and the slow learner was also sitting. So he had a very difficult choice to engage the class. If I talk about this novel FDP, that is going to be from a different perspective. One aspect is that you have a student who is well aware of everything, and he is having a kind of situation in which knowledge explosion has taken place. If you ask something during the class, either he will take a snapshot of your slides, or he will immediately Google, refer to the best resource in the world, and will counter you that, sir, this is not what you said. Now the situation has changed. You are referring to 1990 textbook. Now something else has happened. So one part of the story is this. And the second part of the story is that you are preparing for an unknown future. Neither you know, you means the teacher knows, nor the students know that what kind of problem they are going to face in their coming future. So that means both of us, the teachers as well as the students, they have to go for a continuous learning process. In this particular session, somebody was referring Einstein's views. Einstein said that the moment you say, I know, and most of the time, when I start asking you, saying something, oh, I know. That means the moment you say, I know, you ceases to learn. Learning is gone. So you have to always be a student. Even though you are a teacher, even though the classification which I told, you may be lecturer, you may be leader, you may be professor, but the teacher is always a learner. He learns from the classroom. He learns from the questions. Sometimes we say that stupid question, he was asking stupid question. We learn a lot from those stupid questions, not the general routine kind of questions which we encounter into the classroom. So our every day, our every moment, if we cherish teaching, we learn from our students, and that is what is required. And this particular FDP, in which it is not that we are getting equipped with the technology, he said, Professor Dhar said, appropriate use of the technology. You know, most of us, my students, the young generation, they go for video games. We say, don't give too much freedom to your child for playing with the video game. The parents say, no, the body-mind coordination, the eye-body coordination improves. This is the argument which generally parent and also the others who support. But what happens? You might have just noticed few weeks ago or within few weeks, there was an incident in which Kanjivala, a lady was stuck in a steering wheel and she was dragged for many kilometers. That is what we have learned in video games. In video games, you keep picking the best tool, you keep kicking the other, killing others. And while doing this, unconsciously, you become inhumane. You are not sensitized to the sufferings of the people who are being killed by your video game. So that is what technology has got lopsided, the other side of its effect. It is better that this FDP is being organized offline. We are sitting in front of us. As a reviewer of the programs of HRDC, during COVID, we suggested that instead of keeping the teachers at home doing nothing, we can start online orientation programs, faculty development programs. And that became a convenient sort of choice for the teachers, for the HRDCs. Why? The cost has gone down. There is no offline interaction face to face. And the other side is that you click your online platform, mute yourself, switch off your video, go and do your household activity. The program is being offered, and you at the end get a certificate. This is abuse, but simultaneously, if I talk about the positive side, if it comes to the skills, you have not learned anything. If I talk about the pedagogical tools, if I talk about the pedagogy skills, unless otherwise you do from your own hand, if you are involved from all of your senses, and when I say all of our senses means only one output device has been given to you. The rest of the thing, whatever you have is all input devices. So that means what? You have to take as much as you can. Input is to be maximum and output is to be minimum, because only your mouth is going to speak. Eyes, nose, everything is only receiving. And then when you are going to use only output for once, then whatever you speak should be of high standard in your class, in your day-to-day life. That is what is important. How to make these CPDPs? One thing is, it should be continuous professional development. FDP is one such initiative. When I say FDP as a continuous professional development, after getting high accolades in our studies, we top in our masters, we get PhD, we get PDF from abroad, and suddenly we are pushed to the classroom, go and teach. A good researcher is not necessarily a good teacher. We assume that the fellow knows and he's going to engage the class because he knows. You don't know what kind of plight that faculty is going to face, what kind of problem he's going to face when he's entering and he's going for the first time to engage the students in his class or in the class. That part need to be looked at. So the teaching skills are important. How well you can connect to the student. And in terms of physics, unless otherwise you resonate, you and your students are at the same frequency. The resonance will not take place, and very difficult to get a class of 40 or 60 in which every student has the same frequency as the teacher has. So how to bring them at same frequency so that your class becomes a kind of example of resonance and everybody is resonating. And that requires a continuous training program for the beginner, the person who has just joined. He needs first to be trained for engaging the class, knowing more about the teaching pedagogy. And Professor, we developed one such guideline for mentoring. As a senior faculty, if I am mentoring the just joined faculty, I can open many knots, how to engage the class, how to be friendly with your student, how to go to the resources which are easily understandable to the students. These are some of the things which can be mentored by senior faculty member who has spent a lot of 30, 40 years in the teaching. So we thought that mentor-mentee is only limited for the students. No, it is also equally relevant for the teachers who join as a fresher. Then what you need to be developed in your discipline. Somebody was talking about Industry 4.0. If I take example of how this technology is changing. When Faraday, he developed the concept of electricity in 1830. It took 50 years to get converted into electricity. Somebody asked, what is the purpose of this electricity? So at that time, Faraday could only say, one day you will take money out of that. He was not correct. Had it been today's scenario, he would have said that one day you will lose elections by making electricity free. Right? So 50 years took for getting your idea converted in technology. Then Watson Crick, he gave the idea of this double-stranded helix. It took about another 20 years to get formalized in the form of biotechnology. Very recently, in 1991, concept of carbon nanotube came, and within 10 years, it got implemented into logic circuits. So if I talk about industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 1.0 was longer lived. Industry 4.0 is going to be short-lived. By the time you appreciate that artificial intelligence is coming, and you have to gear up yourself to take the challenges of augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, it will go. Something else will come. So challenge with you as a faculty is to be receptive to the new changes which are going to take place better than your student. Then you will be relevant. And some people say that, what is the need of teacher? Everything is available on internet. Google cannot replace a good teacher. So if you are trained how to engage the class, then you get refreshed from time to time in domain specific, whatever developments are taking place, and developments are taking place at a very fast pace. The growth is exponential, 7% per annum. You all know you deposit your money in your bank. If 7% per annum is the exponential rate or the rate of interest, compounding interest, every 10 to 15 years, your money gets doubled. Then a growth of a factor of 10, if I take about, if you have deposited for 50 years, so your money has just gone 10 times. And in 300 years of period, million times more growth has taken place in science and technology, whereas the total span of societal evolution is 10,000. That means there is a phase lag. Science has outpaced social sciences. And because of that, whatever problem you see today, you encounter today, be it climate change, global warming, pollution, dying rivers, Joshimath, take example. Those who, I'm not criticizing that you as a social scientist, you were, no, there was a phase lag. You did not appreciate the challenges that science is going to pose with you. You used the resources indiscriminately, considering that the resources are abundantly available. And now we are facing the problem. So the third stage in your life should come to appreciate the other domains. Not like the way a horse is driven and he is given a sort of this kind of thing. So when you enter into the system HEI, you become teacher of physics. So you are supposed to look only. And physics what? Elementary particles. Elementary particles, quark-gluon plasma. Quark-gluon plasma, standard model. You narrow your choices and then you consider you know everything. This is the biggest failure of HEI, in which I grow vertically, higher, higher in terms of height, in terms of my knowledge in a particular small domain, but I fail to appreciate other disciplines the way they are going, the way they are coming forward, they are helping each other. So multidisciplinarity, transdisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, that should be the core areas where a faculty development program should make you aware, should make you appreciate that these disciplines are also important. So and that we developed a model in which a raw mind is there, you are trained, and after training, you become multidisciplinary. So when you become multidisciplinary, so I have used one symbol in which the nuclear reactor kind of reaction is taking place. You are connecting your idea in other disciplines. And once you have become nuclear reactor, so at the end, you will become enlightened soul. So this is what Professor Dhar was referring that Radhakrishnan Sahab came to this place. When I read the Indian philosophy and also the commentary on Indian philosophy by Radhakrishnan, it is written somewhere that when he used to take classes in BHU, and in those days, it looked as if 1,000-watt bulb is lit in that class. 1,000-watt. When he was teaching, only 25 and 30, 40-watt bulbs were there. So that kind of enlightenment is expected from a teacher who has spent in a classroom and has gone through cross-fertilization of ideas in different disciplines, has started connecting the dots, the neurons have started firing in such a manner that he can take example from any other discipline and explain in your area, in your core area. So that is what is expected. And then you become a noble soul in the society for solving other problems, those problems which are not known to anybody, and that is going to challenge you or the humanity in coming days. So that is what is expected from HEIs, higher education institutions, and their teachers. Are we equipped to? Are we ready to take that challenge? So it was being talked that we will train you how to go for outcome-based learning. When we apply some knowledge somewhere, we should apply the knowledge on our own. You have to introspect that what was the outcome of this FDP? Are you a changed person when you go outside this door? Are you going to make a difference in your style, in your teaching style? Have you learned something, or are you geared up to take those challenges by which you'll be means actually we have taken the message, taken the lesson, and now we are teacher cannot be tamed. And if suppose I forcibly push you in the classroom and go and teach, unless otherwise you are enlightened, we will not give 100%, and you will not engage the student to their satisfactions. So unless otherwise you start looking at the faces of those students who enjoy your class, you derive satisfaction out of that, and that satisfaction becomes the motivational force to make you energized faculty member in the class. Then these FDPs, so you are the ambassadors of this first batch. You have to take this challenge, how we are going to make this FDP meaningful in coming days so that others can also take advantage out of this. I'll not take much of time because we are amusing each other that the teacher is timed for 50 minutes, and then so I also looked my watch and I exceeded the limit. So I'll conclude here. I congratulate you all, and also Mr. Dhar for being a visionary leader of this particular program. 10 days were packed. I was going through all those lectures. It started with Professor Phatak, who led the technology initiative in the country. Whatever you get, the video lectures, NMICT and PTEL is the result of that. And whenever I meet Professor Pant, he's having a like person bubbling with ideas. He'll say, wow, you do, whatever you do in your accelerator, I'm not interested. You say that you have developed an institutional development plan. What is your individual development plan? Let me know. So he was asking me, sir, we developed that institutional development plan. And that was much talked about. I gave several talks. Then he came, well, you done a nice job. But what is your individual development plan? I said, what? He said, think of something which can be. Then he started talking about, see, we always curse that this semiconductor bus we missed. Then we took advantage of that Y2K problem. And that Y2K problem, business processing, outsourcing came into picture. Bangalore became Bangalore because of Infosys. What? We started sending people outside to resolve this 2000. Earlier the code was 00. So the computer was going to get bluffed whether it is 1900 or 2000 or 2100. So just to make changes in those code, we were trained, either we did COBOL, BASIC, Fortran. Whosoever was there was sent to that business processing outsourcing. And we took advantage and we became global leader in what? Software, right? Now you all know that this computer which is kept here is going to get obsolete very soon. Something else is coming. Quantum computing is coming. What is your plan? Are you going to do? I said, it is not my cup of tea. I have got some other assignment. No. Who else will do? If suppose a higher education institution's teachers say that it is not my cup of tea, who else will do? So now other challenge is explore the areas or the domains which are yet untapped. Don't consider that my task was limited to only this and we have done this and I'm satisfied. No. As a professor or as a teacher of higher education institutions, you have the responsibility to develop new disciplines. That is what we do. So with these words, thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity. I would have spoken much longer and I'm going to conclude now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have very well shared the real life experiences by using old to future technologies from where we can learn many ways of teaching and learning. Your encouraging words will surely help us for lifelong learning. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I request Dr. Anand Rajawat sir now to join Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar to present the memento to our chief guest as a token of remembrance. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. With this thought, we come to the close of our valedictory ceremony. I now invite Dean Academic, SVV and Nodal Officer AIU SVV AADC, Dr. Anand Rajawat, to propose the words of thanks.
Chief guest of the function, Dr. Avinash C. Pandeji, Honorable Director, Inter-University Accelerator Center, New Delhi. Guest of honor, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, Association of Indian Universities, New Delhi. Special guest, Dr. Amrendra Pani, Joint Director and Head Research Division, AIU. Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. Ms. Sukriti Agrawal and Mr. Praman Sharma, Coordinator of FDP. Speakers of different sessions, Head of the institutes, Head of the departments, press and media, and faculty members. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on this remarkable occasion. We deem it our proud privilege to stand before you and place on record the contribution of every noble heart towards organization of first FDP on the theme Improving Teaching Learning Process through Technical Interventions, organized by Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, under the aegis of AIU Academic and Administrative Development Center SVV from 9th to 20th of January 2023. We open our hearts in gratitude and thank you all for blessing us. I would like to extend special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Avinash C. Pandey, Honorable Director, Inter-University Accelerator Center, New Delhi. Your presence and the gentle words of appreciation are a source of encouragement for all of us. Sir, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I wish to express the gratitude to our guest of honor, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, AIU. Thank you, madam, for joining and gracing this event. Ma'am, I think your support will take this platform to greater heights during the time to come. I wish to express the gratitude to our special guest, Dr. Amrendra Pani, Joint Director and Head Research Division, AIU, New Delhi. Thank you very much, sir, for your guidance and support. I would like to extend my gratitude to Sri Pushtam Das Ji Pasari, Honorable Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, and Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, for their kind support, motivation, and encouragement for the successful execution of our plans. Last but not least, my special thanks to Sukriti Agrawal Madam and Primash Sharma and the team AIU SVV AADC as well as SVV IT team for their sincere efforts towards organization of this FDP. Thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you, sir. On this note, let's conclude a remarkable, memorable, and knowledgeable valedictory session. On behalf of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, we sincerely thanks our guests and dignitaries for being with us today and enlightening us with their enthusiastic remarks. I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai. Thank you. Have a nice time ahead. I request all the participants to join near the Saraswati ji for a group photograph.